Hey everyone, how you doing? It's time for the PDG podcast. Um, this is our third episode, and I've been looking forward to. No, this is our fourth episode. Our fourth episode, and I've been looking forward to doing it all day. Um, and yeah, so let's get into it. So I think the first thing that I wanted to say on today, the 19th of April 2019, was it's a really sad day in Northern Ireland, Ireland, whatever you call this place, and it doesn't matter. It's a place where we all love it, and it's a great place to be. Um, but today, someone that I didn't ever meet, and I'm sad that I didn't ever meet her, um, Lyra, and sorry, I'm not even sure that's the pronunciation of her name. Lyra Mckee, died, uh, either died yesterday, on the streets of Derry, shot, um, by what looked like a kid with a gun, um, purportedly from some Republican organization. And I think, I mean, this is about PDG advertising this podcast, but I think that it's just kind of been very prominent in my thoughts today because she was clearly an amazing person. Um, just looking at what she did in her life. There is a YouTube video of her doing a TED talk, and the talk is just wonderful. It's inspiring, and in it she talks about her life and the things that she did and her messages of love and consideration for other people. Um, and I just I think that it's a tragedy that this happened, and I would express my condolences to the family and her friends. And I realized talking about her as someone who didn't know her, but I mean, if you look online and you can see what she did and the effect and the outpouring of grief that she had in the how she's united a place, even after her death. It's pretty incredible. Um, I hope that this is the last of these tragedies that happen in this part of the world in Northern Ireland. We're beyond that, and we should be beyond that. Um, and I think that taking away one of our, when I say our, I don't just mean Northern Ireland's. I think this lady, um, Lyra or Lara, was clearly one of our brightest and best, and I think that it's an absolute tragedy and something that we have to remember and make something good out of it and make sure that she didn't die in vain. So that's really hopefully that's respectful, and that's all that I want to say about that. So one of the first orders of business that we have had today has been our email production for a customer, and it's been very exciting working on this customer. Now, this customer is a loyalty program for hotels across the world. Is it across the world? No, in the UK at the moment, and on the seas as well. Some cruise ships that they work with. So I suppose that does make it all over the world. And our email is about, our process is about making sure that emails go out on time for this customer and are of great quality. There are quite a lot of emails that have to go out for this customer on a monthly basis. So one of the things that was really important this morning was working to a system and working to a process, and that was a very important thing to make sure that the process was being followed correctly and that we were keeping track of all the emails that are being sent out. And in that we were able to make sure that the customer is very happy with what we're doing, excuse me, and that we are keep it on top of everything that needs to be done. Now, the system and the process is really simple. It's on Google Sheets, and it's on Google Docs or Google Drive. It's held on Google Drive. Really, really simplistic. A lot of the times I'm pretty fascinated by the way that we match simplicity of basic things like lists on a page or Google Sheets, which is basically just Excel in another form, combined with the power of an email marketing platform like MailChimp. But that combination and using a really new technology with an old technology is very strong. I guess calling MailChimp a really new technology maybe doesn't sound right to people, but I think it is. I think if you look at it, how long has email marketing really been about? How long has MailChimp really been about in comparison to something like Excel, or then again even something like the pen and paper? So there's a spectrum of time, I suppose, that things are placed in, but it doesn't mean that one form of one tool is worse than the other. I think different tools have a place for different projects and different tasks. So in the last few episodes, I've mentioned that we've been doing a strategy. We've been planning strategy for our customer, for a social awareness customer that creates videos and puts them out there to the world. And we were creating a strategy on how to get your information out there. And we had the strategy call, the first part of the strategy call today, which is the first part of our strategy delivery. The next part will happen next week. But it went so well, and it was such a great space to talk in with this customer. It was myself and two people on the other line on a Skype call, and it was wonderful to just take that time to understand the customer journey for this customer. And one of the biggest things that this customer said that they didn't know how to do was they didn't know how to manage their time effectively. Now, whenever I say effectively, they meant they might spend 3 hours creating the perfect Twitter post, researching it, doing that and making sure that it's absolutely perfect, and then maybe move on to do another task that might take 4 hours. And that's basically what they said. How do we know what things to do, and how do we know how much time to apply to them, and how do we know how long they should take? So what we're going to create soon is like a weekly execution sheet, or a weekly or daily execution sheet of the things that you should be doing daily for customers. I suppose if you liken it to personal training, I guess these are the amount of weights that you need to do. These are the exercises that you need to do daily. This is your food plan daily. I think it's similar to that. I think creating a plan and creating some pointers like that for customers and for ourselves, I suppose. So on this day, every other day, or this day, you need to create a post about this topic, or maybe it's not so much a daily thing. Maybe it's more whenever something like this happens. So whenever someone uploads a video to your platform, you need to take a snippet of it and post it out to your network in order to pull people back to your website. So that was a very interesting conversation, and I'll be sure to over time bring out some of those pointers and tips on our various social channels, and maybe even on this podcast. So yeah, that was a great part of that strategy, and we're looking forward to going through the next part of it next week. So we've talked a lot of this week about Isana, and we have we got to a point at about 10 a.m. today, I think, where all of our Isana tasks were completed for the week. It's a great feeling whenever you can tick off everything that you should have done for the week. And it allowed me then to take a step back and take a run through all of our customers to make sure that we're doing everything that we need to help them meet their goals. And I think this week has been a lot calmer. I think we've done a lot more this week than we normally do. But certainly this podcast has actually really helped to organise those thoughts and to reflect on them, and look and see if we're doing the right things. And oddly, adding in something like this has, which you would think maybe would take down your time that you have for doing things, feels like it has expanded our time and put a little bit more quality into what we're doing for our customers. And then has actually today allowed me, across the last few hours to take a run through all of our customer roster and make sure that everything that's happening is going correctly, and that we're doing everything that we can to put out the best quality adverts, to make sure the email processes are running right, to make sure all the reporting's done, and to make sure that we haven't missed anything from the customers that we're looking after currently. Something that I'm doing today is I'm working from home today, so at this point you can't hear anything in the background, but all day I heard once that people that work from home make sure that they get all their washing done, and that's what I've been able to do today. So I'm sitting here in a mound of washing that's drying around me, and the radiators are on full blast, so I could maybe be we could be in Spain and probably not be this warm. Yeah, well, working from home has been good today. This is Good Friday, and it's usually a very quiet day in Northern Ireland, I would say. I think entertainment licenses, pubs, bars shut quite early today, so I don't think it's a very big day for people going into town. It's also a day when all the schools are off and most public businesses are closed, and people take it as a bank holiday. So it's kind of quiet, and it's given me an opportunity to regroup on a lot of things, and to focus on some important customer points. And if you can see where I am, I've got a great view of the big Harland and Wolff cranes in Belfast. Clear day, and a very yellow looking beautiful big crane structure, and I suppose that kind of wraps it up today. Just such tragic news about such a wonderful person in Derry, Londonderry, whatever you call it. I think she called it legendary, and that was a very nice thing to hear. So again, my condolences out to the family, and just hope that the family and friends, and I just hope that myself and we all can be as brave as she clearly was as a person, and a force in the world. So if you haven't seen her work, Lyra, Lyra Mckee, Lyra Mckee, and it's something I think that everybody should see. Her TED Talk for sure, but I'm sure that's only scratching the surface of the things that she did in her life. So my condolences again, and thanks very much everyone for listening, and we'll be back again tomorrow, or we'll be back on Monday. I'm not sure if tomorrow warrants a podcast, considering that it is a Saturday. It might do, but we'll just have to see how this rolls. Okay, all the best, everyone.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.